Introducing first, making his way down the aisle into the blue corner, please welcome Matt Barr.
All right, Jesse, after that first initial false start, I think we're ready to go officially now here. Fighter safety always paramount here in mixed martial arts, and wanted to make sure that we were ready and set to go. But nevertheless, first bout of the night is a middleweight bout. Matt Bauer making his amateur MMA debut, coming out of Clarion, Pennsylvania, Clarion MMA. And we talked to him, and he was kind of a little bit of a reserved guy. Said he just really saw mixed martial arts on TV, and that's how he got started in MMA. Looked online for a local gym, and one of the funny parts about Matt Bauer was he told us he didn't have a nickname, but then his family and friends all and his corners threw out about 10 different nicknames for this guy.
Yeah, you could tell from the Dragon Ball Z tattoo on his back there that he's a big fan. We got told that he goes by the name Goku fairly often, but they dropped about, like you said, a dozen nicknames on us or so. I was a fan of the Gunny Bear, as Gunner was apparently his nickname and what he generally goes by, so it may be Gunny Bear by the end of the night tonight.
Yeah, I think that's what we're probably going to call him, whether he likes it or not. He said that's what his family calls him most of the time. So Matt Bauer, 0-0, coming into the middleweight division, 21 years old, and he's going to make his debut here for Pinnacle FC, and Jake Digman is going to bring out his opponent.
And his opponent, making his way down the aisle into the red corner, please welcome Evan Lee.
And Jesse, a name that we will hear a lot tonight on the amateur portion of this card is the Academy Underground, coming out of Morgantown, West Virginia. They have 3 debut guys on this card tonight, all very experienced jiu-jitsu players, something I know you know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, that's correct. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a while now, but coming into the ring now, Evan Lee, blue belt. He's been training, he said, about 5 years now, looking to try to implement the ground game. Obviously, here a little bit. He doesn't want to set the pace too much, but he said he's going to try to set something up with the kicks.
As we take a look here at the tail of the tape, Jesse, what stands out to you in this one?
You know, it's pretty even. I think the age experience is going to play a little bit here. You see Evan a little bit older, maybe a little bit wiser, and hopefully that might play for him a little bit better.
Right, we have debut amateur middleweights here for Pinnacle FC, Matt Bauer and Evan Lee, and both of these guys have experience in competing before. Evan Lee, as we mentioned, doing a lot of grappling. Said he was in the West Virginia Games, Kumite Classic, right here in the Steel City. So not his first time in Pittsburgh, but he said both of these guys seem to be a little bit nervous, but not to the point where what you normally see from debut amateur fighters.
Right, yeah, Bauer seemed to have a pretty laid-back atmosphere in the locker room. He didn't seem too concerned with anything.
And Jake Digman is going to give us our official introduction of these two guys.
The following contest is an amateur bout in the Pinnacle FC middleweight division, and it is brought to you by Rehab Center. Introducing first in the blue corner, he fights out of Clarion, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at 183 pounds, represents Clarion MMA, making his MMA debut. Please welcome Matt Bauer. His opponent in the red corner, he fights out of Morgantown, West Virginia. He weighed in at 183 pounds, representing the Academy Underground, making his MMA debut. Please welcome Evan the Hatchet Lee. This bout is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds, and when the action begins, your referee is Mr. Chip Snyder.
All right, ready to go. Amateur middleweights. We have Evan Lee in the white trunks, Matt Bauer in the gray, Chip Snyder, third man in the cage. I'm David McKinney. Joining me is Jesse Saxton. And Jesse, I think we are about ready to finally get things underway here at Pinnacle FC12.
Yeah, and here we go with the glove touch, and we're looking for some good action.
The southpaw Matt Bauer here lands a couple of shots early on. Guys are swinging.
Bauer getting a good clinch here. Get inside.
Yeah, he said he was going to try to, right hand lands there. Both guys just swinging.
Not a whole lot of wasting any time.
Yeah, in these novice amateur ranks, you don't really have a lot of time to waste. There's a big knee there from Bauer as he pushes the pace up against the cage here. Another big knee to the body here. Of course, amateurs cannot throw knees to the head. You see those shin guards. If the fight does hit the ground, there will be no ground and pound allowed to the head, and, of course, the shorter 2-minute rounds. Straight right hand there from Bauer lands. Another knee. And Lee is ducking his head really bad here, and that's how he's getting hit with these shots.
That's right, Dave. You can see him starting to suck some air here, too.
Little Superman punch there from Bauer. They clinch again. Another knee. Bauer really likes those knees, especially on the inside. Knees to the body. They're doing a little bit of dirty boxing here on the inside. Lee finally turns him around. Yeah, turns around against the cage. Couple of uppercuts there land.
Landed some big body shots here to Bauer's left ribs.
30 seconds left to go here in the first round. The opening bout of Pinnacle FC12. Evan Lee lands a big knee, and Matt Bauer responds with a couple of his own. And those to the body are not. Those do
Bauer
not feel,
starting on lead load now.
Yeah, both guys really swinging wild, but it seems like Bauer getting the better of this exchange here. Bauer really looks comfortable now with 10 seconds left to go in the first round. Dropping his hands and looking to pick his shots.
Both guys sucking a lot of air here. I've seen big, deep breaths.
Overhand left just misses. Great first round here. And Jesse, back and forth action in that first round. How do you score that one?
I'm going to go ahead and give that one to Matt Bauer. It seemed that he was doing the most damage, landing the most shots, taking the most chances. You know, Lee gave us some good action. He kind of reversed it up there against the cage towards the end, but I really feel like Matt Bauer kind of dominated that first round.
Yeah, he definitely was the aggressor there in the first round. And that's when you get a little bit of that cage, those cage jitters out. The first round, of course, you only have two minutes to go as we take a look at the replay here of Matt Bauer just landing big shots up against the cage.
Yeah, the fists were definitely flying here in the first round, kicking off a great night of fights so far. I mean, you can see both of these guys are coming out looking for a win. It's going to be curious to see if the game plan changes in between rounds here a little bit.
And you saw Evan Lee ducking his head there. You know, he has the grappling background, but said he is not going to be afraid to strike because he also has been training about 5 years in kickboxing as well. So, but Matt Bauer really took it to him. You see a little bit of blood here coming out of the nose of Evan Lee as Chip Snyder gets them set here for the second round.
All right, Matt.
And of course, the tough thing, nice little right hook there lands from Bauer.
Big uppercuts landing here, too.
He likes that clinch. Had that overhook there just briefly. Now over under here as Evan Lee pushes them up against the cage. This is really more of what I expected from Evan Lee, the grappler looking to try to grapple and get this fight to the ground.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of grapplers like to use that cage as a bit of an assistant or maybe even another weapon.
Lee throws a couple of big bombs, and Bauer responds with vicious uppercuts, and Lee drops, looks back at referee Chip Snyder, and now Chip Snyder stops it. Great finish there by Matt Bauer, turning it on in the second round, picking up the TKO win here to move up to 1-0.
Great fight there, debut fight there for Matt Bauer. He came out swinging hard. He didn't stop. Like I said, I thought the game plan may change in between rounds, but clearly, why switch up what wasn't working?
And we didn't mention this, but talking to Matt Bauer leading up to this fight, he promised a devastating ending, and that is exactly what he delivered here. As we take a look at the replay, Jesse, we're going to see the end of the fight. Talk us through this.
You see some big uppercuts starting to land here. Clearly, they started doing damage. You know, Lee got put on the ice skates there a little bit. Bauer just kind of dominated.
And the one that dropped him looked like it actually landed to the body, to the shoulder there, but I think it was more of a total accumulation of strikes more than anything. He took a lot of punishment in that fight, did Evan Lee.
That's just about what I was going to touch on there. Matt Bauer seems to be really uncorking a lot of power in these shots, too. You know, not necessarily a whole lot of technical aspects, but definitely it didn't need it here. He just landed the big shots.
Right, as we mentioned, Matt Gunny Bear Bauer from Clarion MMA, you see his coach there, moving up to 1-0, and he's going to be a guy to look out for. This middleweight division here in the amateur ranks seems to be one of the more popular divisions. A lot of young guys moving into this division here in Pinnacle FC.
Yeah, and he, like you mentioned, he's a nice local fighter, so hopefully we're going to get to see him again, write the name down, and we're going to be definitely looking forward to getting that guy back on the card.
Just 21 years old, and we're going to send it back up to Jake Digman to get the official result.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Chip Snyder calls a stop to the action at 37 seconds of the second round, declaring your winner by TKO, Matt Bauer!
Bauer going to get an opportunity to talk with Dave Click here following his win.
All right, I'm here with Matt Baher from Clarion MMA. Matt, let's give it up for Evan Lee from Academy Underground from Morgantown, West Virginia. Both these guys, this was their debut fight. They showed some great striking, but Matt, the man of the hour, you worked some great angles, man, some good knees. Once you started throwing the uppercuts, man, that was all she wrote. They started landing. How do you feel coming out 1-0 in your pro debut?
Oh, I feel great. It's exactly how I planned it. I predicted this knockout in the second round last night, and I came out and did it.
All right, buddy. Anyone you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank my coaches at Clarion MMA, Hillary and Leo LaFay, my parents, and my girlfriend, just everyone that supports me. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you at the next Pinnacle Fighting Championships. From Clarion MMA, Matt Baher.